Hello, everybody. Gatling Golduck back again for Steven Universe Future episodes 9 and 10, and just in time for the hiatus to end because the next two episodes of Steven Universe Future are coming out this week, as a matter of fact. I'm not entirely sure if I want to do something that's like an initial reaction to the episodes. I think what I'm probably going to do is just stick with my usual format where I'll watch the episodes once ahead of time and then watch them a second time for my recording so I can have my thoughts put together properly. Because I think like initial reactions can sort of be skewed in a way. Like your first reaction to something, it doesn't exactly give you time to think about it, which is why I sort of gave up on that one series I tried to do on my channel before and after. Because, like, the hot take premise of it, basically, where it's, like, fresh off of your mind, it can sort of prevent you from giving yourself more time to think about things. That's just the way I roll anyway, so I'll probably just stick with my usual format for those. Also, sometime this month in March, I want to start streaming again. I've got a few games in mind that I could do for a live stream. I could continue with Undertale. I could go with Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Sonic Forces is coming out for PS Plus subscribers this month. I have Sonic Mania. I don't know. A few games come to mind, but anyway, I guess let me know what you guys think, because I want to actually let you guys know ahead of time when I'm gonna stream, so that So it's not dropped out of nowhere. Anyway, that's the idea anyway. So yeah, let's get right into it with Steven Universe Future episodes 9 and 10. Yet another unresolved plot point that's just sitting here right in front of us. Sadie and Lars had this sort of ongoing on and off relationship thing where both of them weren't entirely sure how they felt about each other. And then when Lars came back to Earth, they had the opportunity to talk to each other, and we just completely skipped past that. We didn't get the opportunity to see Lars and Sadie reconnect, talk about things, maybe sort out their relationship, because it seems like now Sadie's moved on and Lars has sort of moved on. Like, he still clearly has sort of feelings for Sadie, but he's like trying to let go, apparently, because Sadie has a new partner in life. But they just let go of the connection between these two characters and just dropped that off the face of the earth. Again, another plot point that was resolved off screen. Steven Universe Future seems to be making a habit of this because, like, certain things just go without mention. Like, the treasure chest is just gone without mention. The human zoo just sat out there for 2 years because apparently they didn't address that off screen. They didn't address Lapis's feelings off screen. They did address Lars and Sadie off screen. Like, there are so many things that are done off screen that are plot points that people have cared about for a long time and are just unresolved. And there are things that aren't happening off screen that would make sense. And also, just to talk about things that are dropped off the face of the earth, why is, like, again, these are just characters that are just, they were developed on. Like, Lars actually had some pretty decent character development in season 5, and he was just forgotten about for the later half of the season until he came back to Earth. Like, Lars died, he's out in space, and then we just forget about him for half of the season while Steven's moping around on Earth. With Steven being the point of view character, this show has made a very bad habit of just forgetting about certain characters and just forgetting about certain plot points just to, like, let them pass by. And I don't know why. Like, having your titular character be the point of view character isn't inherently a bad thing. But in the case of Steven Universe, it's been a detriment because it's prevented from having character development for certain other characters, because in order to have them develop, Steven needs to be on screen with them, and this guy can't be everywhere at once. It's not exactly a good. It's not good is the thing, because like you're having all these characters that are just staying in stasis essentially whenever Steven's not around, just not getting developed, because without him we see nothing. And having character development, I don't think having character development off screen is a good thing, period, personally. But there is certain things like in time skips that would make sense. Like, having Sadie and Lars talk to each other over the 2-year time skip makes sense. That's fine. But if you ask me, something important like that for two characters that we focused on for unnecessary reasons because they added nothing to the overall plot outside of Lars saving Steven in like season 5. Outside of that, these two characters really haven't added anything to the story, and their story was just left unresolved. Like, there was just that big gap that was off screen. And again, there are certain things that would make sense. Like I said in the previous video, having somebody talk to Lapis to help her sort out her feelings. Having that happen in the 2-year time skip, again, that would make sense. But again, I really don't think something like that's that important to that character's development and growth should be off screen. Because then we're essentially left to fill in the blanks of how this character changed and why. It's not putting in the work to do the writing. You're just skipping ahead to the point where they're already changed. That's lousy. But anyway, I've talked enough about this sort of dropping plot points off the face of the earth thing for a decent chunk of time. On to the actual meat of the episode. Hey, look! A handful of characters that were brought into this story that were never developed. Isn't that great? Bunch of characters that we brought up and didn't do anything with. Isn't that lovely? I gotta tell you guys, the first time I watched this episode, I was very frustrated because I was just looking around at these shots in this episode and just thought to myself, wow, look at all these look at these background human characters that we spent so much time on that didn't add anything to the overall story. Because Steven Universe just decides to develop these characters that don't add anything for some reason. Like, rather than develop the main plot, which was the conflict that was going on, an unresolved intergalactic war, instead of addressing that, we need to find out what's going on with Sadie. We need to make sure that she's we need to make sure that she's happy at her job. We need to help the mayor or something. Just like, why? I don't know why. I don't know why this show wasted so much time on these characters that didn't add anything. It's just like, I seriously doubt that anybody got into this show because of the human characters. I honestly don't understand why. Just like, this is what I mean when I say that Steven Universe needs more focus, because they wasted so much time on all these characters that didn't really add anything instead of developing the main characters of the story and developing the plot. Like, developing the conflict, developing the villains. Like, there are more important characters to this overall story that need time dedicated to them, but no. We're gonna dedicate entire episodes to the people that run the pizza shop. And we're gonna dedicate episodes to Sour Cream and his family. We're gonna dedicate episodes to Sadie and Lars. Like, I don't get it. I don't get what this show was trying to do. Or what it is trying to do right now. Like, it didn't have any focus. It didn't have a direction. And it wasted so much of its time. And that's, if you ask me, that's why the season finale happened the way that it did back in season 5. Because they wasted so much of their time on things that didn't matter that they had to rush a redemption and a resolution to the diamonds into one episode. Granted, the episode was double length, but that didn't help. That's 30 minutes out of 5 seasons to rush a resolution to the main conflict of this entire show. And Steven Universe Future is having the exact same problem where they're throwing in filler episodes that don't add anything in the last season. And I don't understand why they're wasting so much time. Because, like, having episodes that... Because, like, you can have episodes that are just, like, characters, like, sitting around and talking to each other. Like, you can have that. You can have episodes that aren't necessarily action-oriented or, like, having things moving forward in the plot necessarily, but it needs to be productive. It needs to service something to the characters of the story so that you can have a story. There needs to be a through line. There needs to be a direction. There needs to be a purpose. There needs to be focus. And this show doesn't have it, and it hasn't had it since season 1. I don't know why Steven is insisting to try to make things awkward between Lars, Sadie, and this new Shep character. Like, I don't know why he's insisting on making things awkward. Like, I get it. Time has gone on, and things have changed in your friends' lives. But this is something that you should know by now, like, have experienced change. This is something that you should be familiar with, Steven. Like, people change even when... Like, contrary to what you might believe, people can change when you're not around. And also, I like this Shep. I like this Shep character. They're saying that they're open to criticism. I appreciate that. Great! Another brand spanking new power that Steven is pulling out of his ass to keep the plot moving forward. I love it. This episode's gonna be great. So Steven just made a giant shield around the entire beach party? Okay. How and why? Like, what are these powers triggered by? Like, Steven with his new pink power of his just seems to, like, birth absurd powers. Like, remember that thing he did when he slowed time to a crawl as Smoky Quartz? Remember that? How did he do that? And how is he doing this? How is he creating this enormous shield? And I'd like to say again, he's doing this effortlessly, like he's not even intending to do this. Where are these powers coming from? How are they happening? And remember, Steven had to work hard in order to get something as simple as a shield to work. And now he can do this crazy stuff without it so much as making him break a sweat. What is this power? How is it happening? And why is it only happening now? We're at episode 9, and none of the characters have bothered to discuss it with him. Steven hasn't bothered to try and ask anybody about it, seek help for it. We're on episode 9, and it hasn't been addressed yet. And it's been happening whenever Steven starts getting emotional. It happened in front of Pearl. Pearl didn't say anything to him about it twice. She didn't ask him about it twice. And it's happening again now, and he's not treating it like it's a big deal, even though in a couple seconds from now, this power will result in the near death of all of the people at this beach party. Steven, what are you doing? I don't understand this power. And no matter what they do when they explain it, no matter what happens in the next few episodes, wherever this power is taking Steven, it's gonna be contrived. Because he and everyone else who witnessed this power chose not to talk to him about it, and Steven chose not to ask anybody for help. No matter where Steven Universe Future goes, it's gonna be contrived. Steven literally almost killed all of you a second ago, and this isn't being treated like a big deal. People, if he is that emotionally unstable that just seeing Lars walk away from him triggered this shield that almost killed everyone here. He needs help. Something is clearly wrong with him. Somebody talk to him, please. Good God. Help him. He's not okay. Why are you all so ignorant? Do you all not care about him? Are all of Steven's friends just stupid? Because that seems to be a running trend with Steven Universe Future, that in order for the plot to progress, everyone has to be an idiot. And I hate it so much. I hate this kind of writing. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason that I hate it, because when people try to write a story that requires every single main character to be an idiot, that's not good writing. In order for the plot to happen, that's not good writing. If you want your plot to happen a certain way that it sacrifices every single main character's integrity and makes them all look stupid and out of character, that's not good writing. Because you're sacrificing the characters in order to push the plot in a certain direction. And some writers might say, but it had to happen this way. No, it didn't. You can write your stories differently. Events don't need to play out this specific way. You can rewrite. You can redraft. It doesn't have to happen one specific way. You can work around these things without making your characters look like idiots. Why does this pass as acceptable writing? To make every single one of your main characters an idiot in order for the plot to progress. Oh wow, would you look at this completely random and unrelated image that I just pulled up, because this movie totally has no relevance to what I was just saying a second ago. Lars, maybe instead of leaving, you can, I don't know, stick around, because Steven is clearly not okay emotionally or mentally, and you're just gonna leave. You're not in a hurry, and your friend, who brought you back from the dead, might I remind you, is clearly not okay right now, and you're just gonna leave. Some friend you turned out to be. I appreciate this episode for how it highlights the issues that have plagued Steven Universe since day one, but in terms of writing, there's nothing redeemable about this episode. Except for Shep. They were nice. Alright, we're in episode 10, and our boy Steven here has apparently left Little Homeschool. Steven just left the rehabilitation center for slaves and gems that have been turned into monsters. He left. He left it in the hands of Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl. Garnet, who has been established in a previous episode to be incapable of handling social interaction. And Pearl, who can't handle pressure. And Amethyst, who's still learning. Steven just left Little Homeschool. The ideology that he's been fighting for so long, the grand result of it, helping gems be free and decide who they want to be, he abandoned it. Are you kidding? This episode's gonna be great. I guess plants aren't as cool as liberating the galaxy. So you just abandon that calling that you've been fighting for years, and now you're whining about how, the gems aren't impressed with this. Whatever happened to freedom? Whatever happened to dismantling the Empire? Whatever happened to healing the gems that have been damaged? Because there's more healing to be done than physical. I can guarantee you that. Steven, why did you leave Little Homeschool? Why did you leave that which you fought for so long? And left it in the hands of Garnet, who is a moron, apparently, Pearl, who can't handle stress, and Amethyst, who is still learning. Again, why did you think this was a good idea? And if you're going to say that, teaching's not my thing, I don't know a whole lot about it, you can learn too. You can learn with them. You can learn together. I thought that was your thing. That you were supposed to grow stronger together through shared experiences. I thought that was the thing since episode 1. That you were stronger together. And you just left. They're better off learning from Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl. Keep that line in mind. I'm not done with it yet. Just a minute ago, Steven was talking about how people would be better off learning from Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl, and now he's over here talking about how, Pearl can't take the truth to her face. She'd fall apart, and I'll have to pick up after her. And Garnet, I can't stand hearing high and mighty advice from her. What is going on with you? And what do you mean? Like, these people have been your parental figures, in a way. Pretty much your whole life, they've been helping take care of you. And Garnet is clearly not all right in the head right now because she doesn't seem to act on things that are, like, relevant, and she can't talk to people. And Pearl, she gets emotional, but I'm pretty sure she's grown from that. Like, she's been able to hold herself together a bit better, except for when she's, like when she's stressed out. Like, you'd think maybe if you just came and talked to her about what's going on with you, it would prevent her from being stressed out and she could handle that. In the next line, wait for it. I'm sick of Amethyst acting like she's so mature now. Y'all know how Amethyst was like the only thing in this show that I actually complimented in terms of decent writing for characters. Steven is whining about her character development, and he has the fucking nerve to whine about how Amethyst has matured. 'Cause need I remind you, Steven, that the reason Amethyst started to mature back in season 5 was because of you. 'Cause I'd like to remind you, Steven, that back in season 5, when everyone else was freaking out over how Pink Diamond was actually rose quartz, Amethyst was the only one that kept her cool, specifically so you wouldn't be stressed out. Amethyst specifically made a mature decision for your benefit, and you're bitching about it. She matured for you, and you are going around behind her back complaining about how she's matured now. What is wrong with you? Why are you such an asshole in this new season? What in the world is going on with Steven? Why is he such an asshole? Why are you talking this way about Amethyst? What did they do to you? What did they all do to you? Garnet has been trying to be a guiding light for your entire life. Pearl has been nothing but trying to be a protective, active mother figure towards you. And Amethyst has been trying to be supportive of you recently, even though you've been screwing up. Why are you such an ass? Oh, thank God, the only ray of sunshine that I have in this entire show is here, and she's being a supportive character like she was in the last episode she majored in. Amethyst, I never thought I'd say this, but thank you for being here. Because Amethyst was never my favorite character in this show, but now she's the only shining light that I have to latch on to. Because now she's coming to check on Steven, to be supportive of him, like make sure that he's okay. Like she's just trying to be like a good, like the way that I always saw Amethyst is she was sort of like Steven's sister. And she's just trying to be like a supportive sister-like character to him right now and just trying to make sure he's okay. And Steven has the nerve to bitch about her maturity behind her back when she did it for his benefit. I hate this series so much, and the only redeeming quality that I have in it now is Amethyst. If she gets ruined, I'm gonna lose my mind. Good Lord, this show is gonna be the death of me. You know you're doing something wrong with your writing when Amethyst, who was the dumb one for the previous 5 seasons, is being the sensible one in this scenario instead of Garnet and Pearl. Like Amethyst coming to check on Steven, like that's fine. That makes sense within her character and how is developed. That's fine. But Garnet and Pearl not coming to check on him? That's not okay. Because Pearl is constantly worried about him, and Garnet, you'd think maybe she'd have some sort of premonition with her future vision. How does Garnet's future vision work? Nope. I'm not getting into that. Another tangent. Focus on the episode. 10 episodes in, and Steven's unstableness has gotten to the point of creating a monster that attacked all of the people closest to him, and he's still not seeking out help. 10 episodes in, and just now, every single one of these people right here, Pearl especially, is only trying to talk to him about what's going on with him in his emotional state. 10 episodes. I hate this show. And that does it for Steven Universe Future episodes 9 and 10. And would you look at that, I'm caught up with the show just in time for the hiatus to end. So with the next episodes coming out Friday, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they're coming out Friday. They're on the 6th. With the next 2 episodes debuting on the 6th, I'm not sure if I will make a video on Steven Universe Future the following weekend, or like if I'll make an episode on those 2 episodes the following weekend or not. I probably will, but just in case, I will end up letting you guys know like the day prior. Like I will let you guys know on Saturday, which would be typically the day before I upload. If I don't intend on uploading a video on Steven Universe Future, I'll update you guys on Saturday. But other than that, that does it for Steven Universe Future as it stands now. So as we proceed, we're all going to be flying in blind. So thank you everybody so much for sticking with me halfway through this mess of a show. It really means a lot to me that you guys have enjoyed it. And we're at the halfway point. Steven Universe Future is drawing to its close. And frankly, I'm glad that it's going to end, but I'm also kind of sad to see it go, because it's been like a part of my life for such a long time, and at the same time, it's also been what's helped me get my start on YouTube. So I'm glad that the show is ending, finally, but part of me is kind of sad to know that I'm not going to be able to talk about how terrible the new episodes are much longer. Who knows, maybe I'll make videos on the old ones, because there's like 160 of those I could talk about. Anyway, regardless, thank you everybody, as always, for watching so much. It means so much to me, and I will see you all next weekend. Whether I make a video on Steven Universe Future or not, I'll see you then. Goodbye.